Disability sports are defined as any sport designed for or specifically practiced by persons with physical or intellectual disabilities. Starting as a means of rehabilitation for war veterans, these adaptive sports have been quickly moving towards a widely popular and competitive sports model. The universal popularity of sport and its physical, social, and economic development benefits make it an ideal tool for fostering the inclusion and well-being of persons with disabilities. Growing rapidly in places like the United States and the United Kingdom, disability sport still faces many challenges in more developing countries such as Malaysia. However, with their popularity on the rise, disability sports have received growing media attention. The media's portrayal of these disabled athletes have had both a positive and negative effect on the self-perceptions within the disabled community, as well as the outside public perceptions of disability. Helping to increase awareness and counteract the discrimination associated with disability, the media's portrayal of disabled athletes have also broadened the gap between the able-bodied and disabled communities, as well as exploited disability through the use of advertisements. The media's portrayal of disabled athletes and coverage of disabled sports has helped to counteract the stigmatization associated with disability. The media coverage of disability sports in the US and UK has greatly increased visibility and awareness of disability, allowing for more interactions between disabled and non-disabled persons in a positive context. The media has played an important role in reshaping assumptions of what disabled people can and cannot do. This commercial advertising the London 2012 Paralympic Games shows many of the disabled athletes competing in their respective sports. Most of the clips within this commercial feature shots in which the person's disability is the main focus. This commercial is contrasted with a study conducted by Thomas Nigel and Andrew Smith, in which 62 articles were analyzed from 4 British newspapers about the 2000 Sydney Paralympic Games. A close analysis of the language used in these articles suggests a tendency to convey the achievements of Paralympic athletes using medicalized descriptions of disability and to compare them to athletes without disabilities. Furthermore, photographic coverage tended to hide the athletes' impairments. This commercial seems to starkly contrast these articles published 12 years prior. Highlighting the athlete's skills, this is a great example of media helping to transform outside public perceptions of disability in an attempt to reduce the tendency to associate the term disability with negative connotations. Although highlighting the competitive nature of the Paralympic Games, the shots of the athletes standing together and embracing one another exemplifies the ability of disability sports to immerse the athletes in a community which breeds disability culture. In contrast to disability sports in the US and UK, developing countries have many structural barriers such as lack of facilities, equipment, and funding, which prevent many athletes from participating. Because of this, there tends to be large disparities between disabled and non-disabled sports in developing countries. The role of the media also has profound impact on disability sport in these developing countries. In Malaysia, the noticeable lack of media coverage on disability sport adds to the large disparities between disabled and non-disabled sports. The media's portrayal of disabled athletes in Malaysia, or in this case the lack thereof, widens the gap between able-bodied and disabled athletes. This negatively affects the self-perceptions within the disabled community as well as the outside public perceptions of disability in Malaysia, as it combats awareness and support as well as increases the association of disability in a negative context. Lastly, many of the negative aspects associated with the media's portrayal of disabled athletes have come from the exploitation of disability in advertisements. This Nike advertisement from 2000 shows a disabled athlete with the words, "It's okay to stare. It's hard not to when you're looking at a world record holder." This advertisement was most likely used by Nike with good intentions, as it does increase visibility and awareness of disability. However, it is important to remember that the main goal of the advertisement is to sell a product. In this sense, this advertisement serves as a great example of inspiration porn. With undertones of freakery, this advertisement by Nike seems to be exploiting disability with the primary intention of making a profit. These types of advertisements create many issues with representation, as they are meant to embody a certain brand. Usually portraying a strong, white male, These advertisements are oftentimes underrepresentative of women and minority races. The media is extremely powerful and can be very beneficial for the self perceptions within the disabled community as well as the outside public perceptions of disability as they increase the awareness and counteract the discrimination associated with disability. However, the media's portrayal of disabled athletes has also led to a broadened gap between the able bodied and disabled communities, as well as the exploitation of disability through the use of advertisements.